Listening to Real Estate and Bourbon. Whether you like it neat or on the rocks, you're in the right place. And now your host, Dawn Roy.
Hey friends, it's episode 6 of Real Estate and Bourbon, and we're so glad you're here. I've got an amazing guest. You have no idea. I'm in love with her. You're going to fall in love with her. I mean, she takes my breath away. You take my breath away. You know that, boo-boo.
You're the best.
You know. What we're going to talk about today is Zillow. Is it on point or is it bullshit? You know, and because people, most of the time, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a hot thanks to my boy, Michael, and Studio 77 for putting on this amazing podcast. Hello. Without further ado, let's talk about the bourbon I'm going to drink today. And it is the Woodford Reserve. It is actually the bourbon for the Kentucky Derby. They were the official bourbon for the Kentucky Derby. I was in Lexington in April and bought my bougie glass to match the bottle. Do you expect anything less?
No.
Really? And my friend Susan is not drinking bourbon. She is drinking a Bloody Mary, which is still appropriate because it is 10 a.m. in the morning.
Correct.
Yours is probably more appropriate than mine.
You know, have you seen the Hot Wings?
Hot Wings what?
It's a podcast.
No.
Where they have celebrities, and it's a guy who basically ask them questions as they're eating hot wings, it's getting hotter and hotter. And it's like, it makes me think about that because it's like he doesn't drink or he doesn't eat wings outside of the podcast.
Right.
So it's like, I wonder if you're going to get that to that point where you're just like, you're not going to do the bourbon outside of the podcast.
What kind of heinous thing is he asking of me?
I don't think
so. Are you
at all.
saying that should only be drinking the bourbon during the podcast once a week?
No, I'm saying it might get
That's
to
a
that
big
point.
no-no. Okay, this warms my soul. Is what
Literally.
it does.
Literally.
At 10 in the morning.
At 10 in the morning.
Listen,
Hold
there's
on.
no judgment around Woodford Reserve. I've been on airplanes where people are sucking it back at 7 a.m.
No lie. Especially you sit.
How you do that.
You sit
neither.
first class. They start serving you before the plane takes off. That's the beauty of flying first class.
Well, I have to interrupt it. I have a gift for you.
What?
I do.
Really?
Yes. So let me go get it.
Okay. Well,
Why doesn't he have a gift for me?
because you are the gift.
I am the gift.
Wait a minute. What is this?
So, hold on. Don't
Oh,
touch.
don't touch. Okay, what?
Okay.
I'm not a drinker. You know that.
You're not a drinker.
I'm not a drinker. I'll have a beer.
So when
I'm
someone
a Corona,
gives-
I'm a Corona guy with a mouth, like a fish or something like that. But it took me 20, 30 minutes to figure out what bourbon would be acceptable in a higher class. Okay? And the guy was not a help.
At the
I think you
ABC
just
store?
Go down the
No.
row and see which is the most expensive.
Right.
Well,
I could have.
But here's the thing, though. It
What?
might be expensive, but is it good?
This
I
is
don't
true.
know.
This is true. So can I do some opening? So this is.
Yes. Reviews were.
You did good.
Oh, did I?
Yes,
Okay, I
you
had
did
some help.
very
I
good.
had one help.
Look at that. Look, so we have multiple bourbons to try. And what
So-
is this? is this a bougie glass?
Well, it's a custom glass.
Oh, stop.
So,
Are you serious,
Yeah.
Michael?
So I.
Real estate and bourbon.
Oh, that's such
I
a
wanted,
neat
to make, I wanted
gift.
to make sure we had some proper ones for the podcast and stuff like that. But this is actually a thing.
You are precious.
this is
Do
a-
you see that?
That's
Here's the
awesome.
We're
thing.
going to put that right there. Not that I want to hide the Jesus, but you know.
We'll take a picture and post it.
Yeah.
So this is a thank you for starting this with letting me
Right.
entrusting me to do this. Also, this is the thank you that I get a lot of referrals from you, and I recognize and I always Eddie and I talk about it all the time and so of that. And I said I need to do something to make sure you know that I appreciate it and that I value you. And
Well,
so.
right at you. You know, good people need to refer and hang out with good people.
Amen.
Yeah. So,
That's incredible. What a
Oh
great gift.
gosh, I'm a little overwhelmed. I have to say,
You know,
because I
I-
don't usually get that's kind of.
You know the interjection that I'm going to put in. It's more than the gift; it's the time
Yes.
that you put in
The
to
intent,
do that.
you know?
Which I always think is so key when someone gives you a gift to think that they took the time, right, to go do that. So well done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That means a great deal to me.
No, I appreciate
I will treasure, to be honest with you. The booze may go in not too short time, but I will treasure the glasses. You have no idea.
Thank you.
So, and to kind of segue to say a treasure, I mean, Susan Morris with Open Gate Realty, principal broker, fabulous human, black dog owner, love of my life, truly. I mean, my old lady home that I envision when I'm 80 with a bunch of women friends, you get your choice of,
I get my choice
of rooms
and seat.
Yeah, at the table.
Yeah.
You're my pumpkin.
And one of those recliner chairs.
That helps you
out.
sit up.
Yeah, that's importante.
That's.
Thank you. Back at you. This is really special. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And, I was reminiscing a little bit this morning as I, get ready for the podcast. I'm trying to get into my nugget exactly the timeline of how we met, because that's what sticks out to me. I can't put the timeline together, but I know the events like it happened yesterday. Do you remember how we met?
Yeah. So random Thursday.
Yes.
Right? Like any other Thursday.
In a realtor's life.
I believe I had been Plaza Azteca at Westchester Commons with some other realtor friends.
Yes.
And as I was leaving, I think Anne Marie Hensley had been there, right?
We were at her. I was on her team, and we actually were having a little, just a happy hour with the team at Ruth Chris.
That's how we met, by the way.
Through Anne Marie.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
She was my very first client in real estate.
Well, there you go.
Anne
And that's
Marie's
why
a gem.
Oh my God. Absolutely.
She's awesome.
Solid. And so they were having at the time on Thursday evenings at Ruth Chris patio events where they had like a little guitar player or a trio, and it's like happy hour, bar foods, blah, blah, blah. And we were there, and you came in.
But I was invited. Let's be clear about that. I didn't just show up.
Well, you could show up and it would be okay.
I could, but I didn't. I was invited, and I don't remember. I think Anne Marie had seen
She
me
probably
and was
texted you or something.
Come on over.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have a gift to bring. I think when you're invited somewhere, you bring a little gifty. But I believe it was around Cinco de Mayo time.
It was.
And and the most interesting man in the world happened to be a cardboard figure on my way out of Plaza Azteca. And
he may or may not have made his way into your car.
He may have not jumped into my arms like most men do. And I put him in my car, and we cruised down Midlothian Turnpike. And I brought him with me.
And showed up at Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
And that's my first introduction into your fabulous, crazy world.
Yeah. Any given Thursday.
Right.
It was.
Well, it's like my brother, his famous saying every time we go, when he's in town, because he's in Dallas, we go to wherever, and he'll go, New Year's Eve, third time this week.
Yes.
And it's
brother.
probably Tuesday.
Right. Exactly. So that's how we met, and been besties.
And it's been on since.
Yeah.
I swear. You know what I mean?
In
Because
good
there's
times.
people that you just connect.
Yeah.
No matter what. And we're not at the same brokerage.
No, we're not. No,
it doesn't matter.
No.
But then we did end up, I migrated to Keller Williams.
Yeah.
And we were there for a little bit together.
Yes.
And did ALC together and all that fun stuff. And then I migrated out to another brokerage. And then you made the absolute fabulous decision of opening your own boutique brokerage.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people need to know about Black Dog Renovations.
Yeah, so Black Dog is our other company. We are women-owned, women-run renovation business. So house refreshes, renovations, flips, and so we are migrating the two to make that real estate venture a little bit easier. If we're doing an investment property, we can go in and make the the changes to it that need to be done, whether we decide whether to flip it or whether to hold
Well,
on to
and-
it for rental.
And you make you bring a value package to seller
you.
clients
Yes.
because, even in this market where we're shifting, but, we're still short of inventory.
Sure.
Sellers still need to do some reconditioning and some freshening because you live in a house one way and you sell it a different. And you bring that package so that they can
Thank you. Yeah.
make that transition much more easier than you going, okay, now I got to hunt up my plumber and my painter and my blah and the blah.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
and I think too, what we're hearing is those are just really hard to come by. The contractors that call you back
Or show up at all.
or show up at all, right?
That's the reason why I started the staging.
Is that right?
I was getting tired of the staging people messing up my schedule and not being ready and stuff like that.
A void is created, a need happens, and you either address that need or you don't. And and the thing about Studio 77, and I tell a lot of folks that even though you do my still photography and drone work and my videos and stuff like that, the services that you offer are so broad. Lawn service, staging. You do what do you call that thing when I ask you to do a floor plan and you do that real cool tumbly thing and
the 3D and
The Matterport?
Yeah, it's really.
But it's actually the floor plan I can do from a LiDAR, so I
Yeah.
don't even need that anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many services and just some really great, things. And that's what both of you have done. I mean, you filled a need and you've helped the community. And that's, kind of how we're going to get into our topic about Zillow. I think I look at Zillow when I'm prior to going to a listing because I want to know what's in their nugget already.
Yeah.
And it's usually way off.
Yeah. I call them the evil empire.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to drink to that, Mama.
because I feel like, so I do the same thing. If I'm going to an appointment, whether it's a buyer appointment or seller appointment, I look up what Zillow has to say. And then the other thing I do is look up my house on that particular day at the same time, because nobody knows my house better than me and nobody knows what it would list for better than me.
Right.
So in comparison, I try to make a fair comparison and say, okay, this is what they're saying about this house we're going to see, or this is what we're going to sell. And then this is what it says about my house that I live in every day. And I can tell you that I can sell it for X today or not.
Right.
And let's see what Zillow has to say about it. And, they're right about one time out of 21 times.
Maybe. Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
is not great odds, y'all. That's not really great.
Well, and I find it even difficult. Well, sellers, you basing the value of their home on Zillow is one thing, but buyers doing their searches makes my skin crawl. And they'll send me Zillow links all the time, and half of them have already sold, or half of them are not even on the market. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's something, and I'll go, listen, if you'll use this platform
Yeah.
that syndicates through our own MLS that's current, I promise you won't hit these frustrations, because even they always take the bad news offerer as the one who's created the bad news. Meaning, if I say, Susan, that house just isn't on the market. Well, I'm the one telling you that. Zillow has misled you, but I'm the face. And after a while, then they start getting grumpy at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So is there a place where you redirect them?
Yeah, home snap
Okay.
all day.
I redirect my guys, but I find that a lot of my clients are wanting to use something that they've heard of before.
Right.
So I think Realtor.com does a pretty damn good job of.
I think it's better than Zillow.
Yeah, I think so. Zillow, one of my favorite stories about Zillow is when the president of Zillow at the time went to sell his house. Did you ever hear this story?
No.
I think you can give it a Google, but it was way off by like $1 million. Because
Right.
the SOB lives in like a gazillion-dollar house.
Yeah.
It was off by, and it was this hilarious news story. Like,
Because even his estimate
house
was bad.
yes, and he owns the damn place.
Do
Do better.
You're right. Definitely do better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I just call it the evil empire to everyone's face. If I see them
Well,
like
why not?
pull it out, I'm like, what are you doing? Put that away.
Well, I don't remember.
It's like looking at porn
It is.
in
it's
public.
house porn.
It's like, no.
No, stop that.
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate. Not here. Not now.
Know your audience.
No,
Put it
you're
away.
Yeah, put it away. There could be children in the room.
Right.
Let's back up. Well, a few years ago, and this is before COVID, sometimes I get these ideas in my head to take songs that we hear, just songs on the radio, and I rewrite the words to fit real estate. So I did one called The Breakup Song with Zillow. I don't know if you ever saw it. And we may have to link that, Michael. I've got a link I can send you to put, link it to the podcast for people to see. But it's called The Breakup Song with Zillow. And I did this full-on production. Of course, at the time, I had my hair cut real short, and I used to dye it red, like burgundy wine. Why I don't know. I just had a hair.
It was a thing.
It was a thing. Let's do it. But my kids were always like, well, really? That's red? I'm like, I know. But I think that's funny because it's talking about, how I'm breaking up with Zillow because I'm a referral-based agent and I don't need, this nonsense that's going on, that's not even true. And I thought it was funny at the time. I don't know if it gets many laughs from people now, but what you're saying is 100% correct. And what happens is, and we then get clients with such huge unrealistic expectations, then, we get into, it just creates a poor narrative.
Yeah,
that you and I have to battle. So not only am I talking to you about your home, now I have to battle this false narrative that you've allowed permeate your brain. It's like the mainstream media telling you crap that just ain't so. And I got to talk you out of that to get you back on track so we can get you going where it is you think you want to go.
Yeah, so I think you look at any relationship you have, right?
Right.
So whether they're friendships, romantic relationships, your kids, there's certain guidelines in those relationships. There are expectations in those relationships that you're like, no, you are not going to eat a whole sleeve of Oreos before dinner.
Who's telling who that? Jay's telling you.
I'm telling the kids and maybe Jay, you're not going to do that. So you have these expectations, right, that are outlined of what's appropriate and what's not.
Right.
Same with friendships. Like, okay, I know that this is appropriate in my friendships and this is the way we act and we're kind to each other and we tell the truth. And so these people create these bizarre relationships with Zillow.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yeah.
they're telling me the truth. Mm-hmm. Are they? Because you're being catfished by Zillow.
Totally.
That's a cool new word right now, by the way.
It is. I love those videos on YouTube are pretty interesting.
Yes.
You ever watch the catfish video?
Yes.
And you're just like, you've never met him. He works on an oil rig. You've bought a wedding dress and sent him $75,000.
Yeah.
I saw one that it was the military.
They're always
pretending to be military guys.
Yeah.
Oh, they always are. I get as a side note, and you do, all of us do. I get these DMs on Instagram about. They'll be like, I'm in the military, I'm in Kuwait, or I work on an oil rig in the, wherever, or blah, blah, blah. Or they'll even be stupid enough to use a semi-celebrity, not like a celebrity, but someone who, if you just did a little Googling, you'd find them. And I'm just like, what in the world? Really?
For dating?
I have never gotten one of those.
Oh, yeah.
I must be incredibly
No.
uninteresting to to
No.
Look at her and they're like, swipe.
No.
Swipe.
Well, I've never done social media dating, so.
No, I'm not. So I'm not dating and not on a dating app. They just DM me from my Instagram or my Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And they're like, hey, baby. What's up? You so pretty.
I'm going to pet your head.
I'm going to pet you.
No, you're not. Just looking. No
It's
petting.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So I think they create these relationships
Right.
with Zillow, and then we've
got to extricate them from it.
Right.
We got to help them break
and
up.
they're like, why are you talking bad about what Zillow
My
says?
boo.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
my boo. It's my
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Yes, my boyfriend. Oh, my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not doing Zillow.
Well, and when they do that, and there has been moments where I've had to say, I'm not your girl. I'm not going to, I'm trying to tell you this is a toxic situation. This is truly what the market data, because I'm about numbers. Man, I am such a dork when it comes to numbers. This is what the data suggests.
Yeah.
And then me being in your home and seeing the condition, this is really where you're going to be to get as many. Because what people don't understand, I hate the whole moniker of, well, let me just throw something out there and let's see, what if people are, will pay it.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you want to come from a position of weakness. So you want to start too high, have to keep lower, whatever that, instead of starting where you'll get more feet through the door and you'll get more activity and get more excitement that might potentially push that price. You want to, what did we say last week about, I considered, real estate like dating. You want to, instead of being the girl that gets taken home from the bar at 8:00, you want to be still there at 1 a.m. when it's just drunks. Is that what, is that how you want to sell your house? And if you do, I'm not her. I'm not the one.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So, what's interesting, you said you're a numbers girl, so you come at it from that point. I come at it from a different point, which is the relationship. So
Cool.
I'm like, I have established this relationship with you.
Yeah.
Do we not have trust here that you can trust for what I'm telling you is true?
Yeah.
Instead, you're going to believe, where are you getting this from? Where are you getting this information from? And I think that same thing though, if I get into, usually, I'm a pretty good judge of character. If I get into a conversation with somebody that I know is not good for me or for them, I go, you know what? This is not going to work.
Yeah.
And I would, rather disappoint you now than disappoint you later.
Because it's going to happen.
This is not a good fit. And I think that I know we've talked about it before, is firing our clients and maybe firing them before a relationship
goes down the hill
even starts.
Is a better use of everybody's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like if you are going to come into I feel like if you're going into that relationship knowing that it's going to be a shit show, that it's because of money.
Oh, well, I am so glad you said that, because if I see one more post from realtors on realtor Facebook, like private groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so-and-so wants to list 35%. This is one from last week. I've got a client that wants to list 35% over market value. Should I take the listing? Why? What? The answer is no. And you would not believe, yes, you would believe, the number of people take the listing and just keep knocking them down till they get to. My job does not entail me sticking my sign in the yard for all the world to see.
Remember what I said last week, or was it when we met about commission?
Yeah.
What I said was, okay, fine. But if we don't sell in the amount of time, then my commission goes up when it goes to my
The price goes down. Right. He had a great point. He's like, if someone wants to list high, you go, okay, we'll do it. But as we reduce the price of the house and it's entailing more work and more whatever, my commission structure goes up. I love that. That's a great, let's steal that.
I love
We're taking it.
I had a listing appointment last week and they were like, so are you going to charge us 3%? And I went, well, I usually charge 4%. I can charge you 3%.
Yeah.
Boom. End of conversation.
It stopped.
Which I don't, but they kind of left it like dangling out there like a little carrot.
Hey,
So
you want to
was
step
like,
in it? Let's go.
Some markets are 5 and 6 and 7%.
Just on the list side, right? Absolutely. And not to mention, you got folks that will charge admin fees, et cetera, but I cannot believe the number of agents. You have to be so desperate for a commission. And I don't understand the mentality of, I'm going to accept a listing just to get the listing because I'm okay with the neighbors and the community and the realtor seeing me have to hammer this price down. 35% over is a tremendous overage.
Yeah.
And by the way, who's driving the car?
Right. You've lost control.
You're not driving the car anymore. And if they're dictating price and everything, just tell them to get their cell phone and become a FISBO and call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. The answer is no. No means no. No means no.
Mama.
You know what I'm so sad about is I'm going to have to dig my... Oh,
no, can you get your...
There they are.
The olives.
There they are, kids.
There they are. Oh,
they went down swimming. Mama brought them back.
Hey, and listen,
Don't let them drown.
I got a quick shout out to the folks at Publix now. the ABC store and the Publix store that I shop right there at Charter Colony Parkway, so it was convenient for me. I went and got my booze. And so I go into Publix because I don't know how to do a Bloody Mary. And I told you that out front. So I'm in there and I'm shopping, and then this gal sees me and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I need like the cocktail thing that you put through an olive, and
It looks like a sword.
and I need I need this and that." So she's like taking me around the store getting my stuff, right? And I asked her name, and we chatted, and I talked to her about the podcast, and she can't wait to hear the podcast. And isn't that funny? So then I go to the front, I start self-checking out, and the guy standing there says, "Hey, let me help you with," I had water, I had water, Cool Whip, and Bloody Mary mix. And he's like, "That's an interesting combination of products in your..."
What kind of party are you going
Right.
to?
It's exactly what he said.
And you may want to, you may want to switch out the olives for cherries.
And I said, "Well, I do this podcast that's going active this week, and if you're a guest on my podcast, you have to drink, and I drink bourbon, but my guest doesn't want to drink bourbon, so she wants to drink a Bloody Mary, and I don't know how to do that." And he's like, "I want to hear about this podcast." So for Anthony and Trisha, my booze at the Publix, we're going to make sure. He says, "Do you come in here often? Because when it goes active, come in here and let me know, because I'm going to start searching for it." So marketing budget's going to be pretty high if I have to go and buy stuff at the local store. We got to figure out a way to market this bad boy.
Yeah.
But that being said, so she
Publix
helped me
brand.
find all that. Yeah, see the Publix
And a
brand.
Tito's and a Zinzans.
We can't
Zing
show those
zang.
on YouTube, so unfortunately,
Oh,
we're not
here, I'm
We're
gonna
not sponsoring. We're not
turn it around.
sponsoring.
But if you happen to see the side of the bottle,
Well,
there.
if you happen to go into the Publix at Charter Colony Parkway, give a shout out to my boy Anthony and my girl Trisha, who
Can we?
will
I'm
help you
gonna
out.
circle back on something.
Please.
Because I do this. You made a mention of, and this wasn't even on the topic, but you said something about realtors posting things. Can I
Please.
take a minute?
Please.
So I have a real issue with our industry sometimes. I think that we do a lot of good, but I think when we talk about ourselves, how, we're perceived as, used car salesmen, or, that we make so much money and that we have absolutely done that to ourselves.
I could not
There
agree
is
more.
no other profession. If my doctor or my attorney
Correct.
posted that they had just bought a $150,000 car or a $250,000 boat or their 18th investment property, they would be quickly
Run out of business.
yes, because you didn't buy it, I bought it.
Right.
And it's just tacky. No one cares.
No one cares. No
So
one cares.
stop flaunting your big fucking house and your big fucking boat and your big fucking
Keep going.
diamond ring and your, no one cares. Stop
No one gives a shit.
doing that.
No one gives a shit.
It is not, I don't look at you and go, wow, I wish I had a big boat. I look at you and go, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, can I take it one step further? Throw it in there, baby, because it's all going to dog rescue.
Oh, yeah.
So let me take it just one step further, even, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Another thing that drives me crazy, and it may not be as big an issue for you, but I have yet to ever meet a client, past or present, to give two shits about what I did last year in production. And I think the agents that constantly put that out there, I think it's like you need to read the room. I think there's a humbleness that we need to get a hold of and quit worrying about, I'm numbered. Well, and when we were at Keller Williams, I said, please don't put me on a list that you're going to post.
Same.
And then you would have these agents post, the top 10 list that came out every single month. And I was like, if you don't redact my name, because you and I are on that list, boo. Okay, right? But it's not, my clients don't care. I consider it personal information. What my bank account is or how many deals I do or any of that is nobody's business but my own. And number two, it's fucking tacky.
It's tacky.
I lost a client because of what car I drive.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I drove up in it, and I was in a better car than they were.
Well, and I think that's unfortunate, but it's like this podcast that Michael I'm so grateful that he actually talked me into doing. But I said this podcast because of the way I want to do it. I'm being organic, authentic. I'm going to say motherfucker. It's one of my favorite words on the planet, and I'm going to drink.
It's actually 2 words.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hold on. Let me a sip for that. But you know what I'm saying? I told Mike, I said, it's either going to break my career or it's going to take it into another dynamic and a different direction that is better for me. Because the reality is this, you and I swim in a pool with people who are plastic. No, not everybody. I'm just saying we have plastic people who are, with their arms crossed and their stiletto heels on and their A-line skirt and all this going on. And that's not who I am. That's not who you are. I mean, good God, girl. I've seen you swinging a sledgehammer, taking down cabinetry in Chuck Taylors and a pair of jeans and a T-shirt. Sure. That's what real estate is to me.
Well, it's real.
It's real. It's like real people, you and I, helping real people who have a problem or a situation and helping them navigate that without any... Look at me, this is what I'm doing. And anytime anything gets posted to Facebook that's congratulatory.
Congratulatory.
Here.
Take another drink.
To me, it's when I have done something and they have been gracious and made a post about it. Like I send gift cards constantly. I send stuff all the time to people.
Well, you know why? So 2 things. Number 1, you didn't get there alone.
I absolutely did not get there alone.
You didn't get there alone. So to buy your car, to buy your boat, to buy your house, all of those things, you did not get there alone.
Right.
Right. And number 2, when you do a good deed and you advertise it, then the good is gone.
It was right. So what was it for?
Right?
What was it for?
Don't tell me that you helped a homeless person today.
Just do it and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what is in the Bible?
Right.
It says the right hand's not supposed to know what the left hand is doing. That pertains to this. And I have seen more than one post, and these people that I'm talking about who will go, oh, saw some, firefighters or police officers or name the service industry having lunch today, and I quietly went and paid their tab. Hashtag it's not about me. Oh, yes, mofo.
Just became about you when you posted it. So if I just beg anyone, but especially folks in our industry, that is how we got there. That is how we, you don't see the Mark Cubans of the world, the freaking Warren Buffetts of the world. You don't see them. I don't have any clue what Warren Buffett drives. I don't have any clue what his house looks like. I don't have any clue. You know what?
Yep.
They
don't come forward publicly about those things because that's not what it's about. What they choose to spend their resources on is irrelevant to the mission they're on.
Yeah. Amen. So there's a really great meme. I don't know if y'all have seen it. It's side by side of Warren Buffett and Microsoft, Bill Gates standing side by side, and then there's a side, they're on one picture, and then in the other pictures, like some random 22-year-olds that are, have like their Gucci belt and their, but in the caption of the meme it says, $42 gazillion between them and not a Gucci belt to be found.
Right.
Hello.
I
mean,
right?
It's brilliant, right? I mean, it's so. I don't know.
We're misguided in some respects. I feel that the realtor profession is misguided in what they think they have to present themselves as to be I know, engaging to the public. I don't know. And to jump off of what Mike was saying about the car, I mean, I have seen multiple posts from agents, I mean, especially newbies who are like, well, so what kind of car should I be driving? The one that's paid for. Run it through the wash, make it clean, and quit worrying about the image. Go and help people. That's the thing. I think the reason people see us as used car salesmen is because of those behaviors. Go make your mission as a professional, and we're licensed by the state. That means you're a profession, not a job. You're in a profession. Go make your mission just to be an asset to the community and quit worrying about what kind of GD car you drive.
Yeah. And if you want to drive a great car, you know what? I worked really hard for my car.
Go do it.
But I don't think there's near a post out there on what kind of car I drive.
No,
I really don't.
What's wrong with you?
That's the one area I do post about. I'm obsessed.
You are such a bougie guy.
But you know what? I think it's all in your delivery.
Yeah.
Right? It's all in your delivery.
Right.
But
it fits me and my personality and people who know me.
Oh, absolutely. Because you're you're a techie guy. You like all that,
Yeah.
Well, listen, I got a pretty girl in the garage. I bring her out on occasion.
Yeah.
If it's not going to rain. Delilah makes her appearance, and she's bawdy and beautiful.
bougie.
Oh my God,
But
I don't go out.
And
Yeah.
that's okay.
That's okay. But it's not what I lead with.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Certainly not.
You just don't have to flaunt it.
Right.
I mean, you can, but again, I think I just needed to say that because I was like,
I am so grateful for you saying that because I think it still ties into what we started with, so Zillow's expectations of what they're putting out to the marketplace and the seller buyer community not understanding, and then the realtor community setting an expectation about what we can and cannot do or what our profession really is. I think it all ties in. And to be honest with you, during the last 2-year boom, we can't be order takers anymore. You better get you some skills, my friends, because the shit's going to get real, and it is getting real. And I am over this just, pricing stuff and throwing spaghetti on the walls. That's going to stop. It has stopped. I mean, I've gotten calls from 2 different people in the last 2 weeks that have overpriced homes with heinous cell phone photography, and they're calling me from a referral because they got to figure out how to get out of this situation because their house isn't selling in a seller's market.
Yeah. Come on.
Like I said, you want to be all prettied up and be the first girl they take home at night in the bar. You don't want to be the one at 1 a.m. going with the drifters who got nothing else to do. That's my point. And that we as a profession and a community have done people wrong with all these posts on Facebook going, well, sold that in 12 hours. Da-da-da-da-da.
Hey, guys. Everybody sold it in 12 hours. Everybody sold it in 12 hours. In fact, my sold in 10. I was just too busy to get it there 2 hours before. Like, come on. Stop.
Or if you didn't sell in 12 hours, then there must be something wrong with it.
Well, that's the thing. When I got into real estate 10 years ago, and I think you've been in a little bit longer than me, if you sold a home within 45 days, you were a freaking rock star.
Oh my God. When I started doing the real estate side of it,
right.
Like when I gave the product and everything to them by 12 o'clock the next day, I was good. Now if I don't have it to where they're 7 a.m. Open up their laptop and saying why.
Right.
Yeah, freaking go time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm up,
all hours of the night.
I was up till 1 last night.
Trying to get this stuff out, because of it's all about unresolved expectations.
Yeah.
And just like you said earlier, it's not just your business, it's your friends, it's your spouse, it's your kids, it's that immediate community that you choose to surround yourself with. And I don't know. I'm glad you brought it up because I think we need to do a better job as a profession. We can't combat the stuff that Zillow of the world put out if we as a profession aren't better.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
You got to know your shit.
Well,
You know what else we need to combat?
what?
HGTV.
I mean, can you stay? I mean, you do have some more drink to drink.
I can stay all day.
Oh,
I mean, ish.
so listen, we're going to wrap it up for today. I want to say thank you for joining us. Share, like, click. We're going to put Susan's information.
Subscribe.
Do some bells. Do a dance. Ask questions. Reach out to us. You can comment in the post, or you can reach out through email, realestateandbourbon@gmail.com. Come on, come back. And we're going to get Miss Susan to talk and share a little bit more time, because I have the time. You got the time?
I got the time and I have olives.
And she fished her olives out. Thanks, babe, and we'll see you shortly. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Real Estate and Bourbon with Don Roy. If you have any questions about something you've heard on today's episode, send us an email to realestateandbourbon@gmail.com.